Hey, what is going on, everybody? Today I want to talk to you all about the Sinister Six, particularly because Doc Ock is coming back around sooner than expected on Monday. I hope to get him unlocked for my baby account, but it comes at a very peculiar time for me because, personally, it's about 2 weeks earlier than I expected based on my Legendary event projections, and what we do know is that, obviously, Spider-Man No Way Home is going to be coming out mid-December, which is probably going to line up with next patch 5.9, which may or may not be a very large one. If it's anything like last year, then we could have upwards to 6 characters over the span of 2 months. So this somewhat leads me to believe that there could be additional Spider-Verse or Sinister Six characters, or both, coming to the game to tie in with this. So the start of this video, I want to go over first the Sinister Six that we have right now, talk about my own version of the team that I use a little bit, and later on talk about the ones that I think might be coming and I want to come and where they might slide into this team. So without further ado, let's get this show on the road. Alright, so we're going to start things off here in the Sinister Six roster window of my main account here. And we want to start off by talking about, well, what is Sinister Six good for? And I think the first obvious response that a lot of people give is that you need them to unlock Invisible Woman, and you can also use them to unlock Shuri. Now, you don't need them to unlock Shuri, but a lot of people just, you know, they call for the 2-for-1. A lot of these are very easy to farm. You know, most of these are available in the store. Electro, Swarm, Mysterio in the Raid store, Rhino in the Blitz store, Green Goblin actually, and Shocker are the only ones that I think are on a node. Vulture is also in the Arena store, Swarm in the Arena store, Electro in the Blitz store. So there's a good chunk of these characters that are made available early on in the game. Now, as you can see, I do not have my Vulture, Shocker. Green Goblin's moderately leveled here at 57,000, level 70. I do have 5 red on him. Haven't even put ISOs into these bottom characters. The main ones that I did use is Rhino, Mysterio, Swarm, Electro, and obviously Doc Ock, as part of that Sinister Six team that I used flexibly, actually, both on the defense and on the offense. Very likely you do see them on the defense, but they are actually capable of taking out the Black Order on the offense. There is videos on my channel, if you want to go back through my Alliance War playlist, that I have used Doc Ock, Sinister Six from time to time to fight some interesting battles. Now, I have not used them more recently, and maybe I need to do some more testing on this, especially against newer characters to see how they hold up. But the reason why I would love to see a rework, we're going to talk about this more, I would love to see a rework on Green Goblin. We do know that Green Goblin is coming back into No Way Home. Sorry, I got the movies mixed up. No Way Home. So he is appearing in the movie. So what I would really like to see is an update to Green Goblin. I would also love to see a glider version of him come to the game as a costume, maybe do both at the same time. Maybe that there's going to be an update, rework to his character, and we get a Green Goblin glider version. Now, I guess if we do get a glider costume, that might mean we're not going to get characters like Hobgoblin down the line, but I really would like a traditional Green Goblin, not the Miles into the Spider-Verse version, the Ultimate Green Goblin, which I think this is based on. Now, as far as Rhino goes, yeah, I got T4s in his passive. Why do I do that? Well, he gets plus 10, my head's in the way, plus 10% max health per Sinister Six ally. That's a whopping 40% extra max health per Sinister Six ally. And as you see with the T4, it's gained 25% max health per Sinister Six ally. So that's 100%. That's a doubling of his hit points, which is crazy. I know his hit points is not super high, you know, because he is a very old character. So 200k, and he probably needs it. You know, that goes from 200k to 400k. Nowadays, that's not a lot. Cersei probably, you know, has more than this. You know, as far as a tank goes, he should have more hit points than that. But that was very good at the time. The other T4 is not very good. I would love to see an across-the-board rework. Depends on if they add characters as chargeables, which they may do, or they update the old characters to give them charges. I would love to see that kind of rework for them. Sinister Six, one of my favorite vanity projects in this game that I previously tried to work on. As you can see, my Rhino is... I did not put orange gear into these characters. You know, they're gear tier 12, but level 76. This was around the level 80 cap. I did Swarm to 80. I did Electro to 81. My Doc Ock is 85 for Doom Raid Tech. The reason why I put most of the resources into Swarm is because they were chargeable characters, so I felt that they're most likely to stay in some sort of additional characters, things like that. They're most likely to stay on the field. That's what I think. Electro is actually pretty good. As far as stats go, I should have taken her to 14. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I will. I do have a 5 red Electro, and actually she hits pretty hard. I have 2 T4s in her, and actually I do like her. Her passive can hit really effing hard in war. I would love to see some more buffs to these characters through other characters. You know, we can get new released characters that'll just improve everyone else, because it's very possible through passives, you know, there's ways that you can bump the team up without actively having to change too much of the existing characters. I actually don't think there's a lot wrong with Electro. I think she's very powerful. She clears positive stats effects in war, and she applies offense down with her ultimate, which is available on turn 1. Her passive goes off fairly frequently with the team. Problem is the rest of the members are kind of slow, especially characters like Rhino and Mysterio aren't the fastest of characters. Swarm actually is pretty solid as well. Unfortunately, he has like 0 armor. So when he does get hit, he gets hit pretty hard. His stats are actually pretty decent, and I also have 5 red for him. So I would totally take him up to Gear Tier 14 if there was a reason to do so. I took him up to Skirmisher 5 because of his special. You know, he does apply repeated debuffs, but then if he doesn't apply each debuff, it stops. There's bonus attacks, and those stop if he doesn't actually apply them. So for that reason, I needed the extra focus, which came from Skirmisher level 5. I would consider putting even blue ISOs into Swarm, believe it or not. If there was new characters coming to the Sinister Six, I totally would do that. And obviously, Doc Ock is just... I still really, really like him. He's maxed out. He's going to continue to be that way. The only unfortunate thing, I guess, about his special is that obviously it summons older Sinister Six members, and this defaults to Shocker if you're not using Shocker, which is fine because of his special. So even if there are new Sinister Six characters that come to the game, at least he'll be able to summon Shocker, and if you have the T4s in here, it'll apply offense up to all Sinister Six allies. So that's fine too. That's a good starting buff, actually, for all of the Sinister Six members. There are a few things that I think that they do need. Because their kit is actually war-based, it's not war offense or war defense, you can actually decide where you want to use them. I would actually not too mind if they did it like the Fantastic Four. You know, where there's like a Namor and a She-Hulk, which kind of turns them into either a war offense version or a war defense version, depending on who you want to put in. I think there are 3 characters that possibly could come to the team. At least 2 of them, I think, are likely based on what I've seen and reports I've seen about the movie. And so I want to talk about this in more detail to let us know more of what we could do with this team. And so first things first, if you've been hiding under a rock, Doc Ock, aka the Alfred Molina version, is coming to Far From... No Way Home. I keep mixing this up. So he's coming to the movie. In case you guys hadn't seen the trailer, it's been out for a long time, so I do recommend seeing that if you haven't already. So he's coming. Green Goblin is also coming. I don't know why I don't have a better version of this. This is what's his name? Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin is coming to Far From Home. Fuck, I did it again. No Way Home. And that leads me to believe, will we get a costume at the very least? Maybe an update to Green Goblin. I would greatly appreciate that. I love me some gliders. I really wanted Hobgoblin as a glider, you know, as an alternative, as a new character. That being said, I don't think he's anywhere in the movie, so I don't think that's likely. But just give me a glider, please, and I'd be very happy. Who I think might come to the game, though, and who has been, I think, semi-confirmed, I think. Let me know. Sandman. So I think Sandman is gonna be in the movie. He was in the previous movies in the Andrew Garfield version, I'm pretty sure. And so this is very likely. Now, what kind of role do I think the Sandman would play? I think he would make for an awesome war defense filler. You know, I was talking about the Fantastic Four, how they have like a She-Hulk and a Namor. You know, I would love Sandman to be that war defense, just real strong brick wall. And speaking of brick walls, I can't help but bring this up. I don't know if you guys remember this. Oh my god. So this was the April Fool's joke. It was called Brick Man. And I just wanted to bring this up because that's what it reminded me. When I said brick wall, this is what it reminded me of. I still had this photo lying around on my computer. And this was in a blog post, I think, for April Fools around then. Anyways, apparently this was a Spider-Man villain, or he was in a Spider-Man comic allegedly, like back in the 70s and the 80s or something like that. So I just wanted to throw that out there really quick. But Sandman, I would love for him to be a brick wall war defense character. What I think could come to the game, you know, kits like Safeguard, you know, but only on war defense. Otherwise, he'd maybe be a bit too OP. But, you know, having immunity Safeguard, kind of like what Adam Warlock does, but only on war defense, I think would be amazing. What could be also amazing is if he has like a flat damage reduction to the team. So when Sandman's on the field, everyone gets, you know, 20% flat damage reduction regardless, because that's what he's doing. You know, he's providing that wall for everyone else. That would be really awesome, I think, and would be really fun to have that flexibility of using this team both on the war defense capacity and the war offense capacity, because their kits often, the rest of the characters only have like war, and Doc Ock and Electro have war specific tags. Now, there's also been some rumors of Kirk Connors, aka the Lizard, coming to the movie. Now, I don't know if this is confirmed. I don't think it's confirmed. But he does have some loose affiliation with the Sinister Six. Most people know him as a sort of anti-hero type character that's often working alongside Peter Parker or Spider-Man, but, you know, he has that sort of dark side to him as well. I could see him being just a base member of the Sinister Six. Like I said, there could be a war offense version and a war defense character, and then obviously there still needs to be two more general chargeable Sinister Sixes. Now, how you would charge Lizard, I don't know, but I'm sure that they could find a way to do that. He could be an additional Brawler character, because we do have Electro, we do have Swarm, which are Blaster and Controller, so we need some new kind of Brawler type characters, I think, and obviously Sandman would be that Protector type character. So I think that this could be he could be a very, you know, a more general character that just, you know, does a lot of damage, but he could apply debuffs, things like this, things that they're missing. I think that they're missing cleanses, but, you know, characters like Sandman could also do this for them, depending on how the kits line up. So there's a few things that I think the Sinister Six are lacking, and that's sort of certain buffs. They don't have a defense up, I'm pretty sure, and they're quite good offensively. They do a lot of damage, but they can't cleanse, and they can't, at least Doc Ock, I know cleanses heal block on himself, but, you know, they do miss a few things. So, Lizard is one character that I would like to see to the game. Now, offensively, what could I see coming to the game? And that's Scorpion, because he has been rumored that he might be showing up in the movie. I don't know. He has shown up in the MCU already as this guy. So he was in, I believe, a prison scene is it in the first movie with Vulture? There were some scenes, some movie scenes, with the end of credit scenes maybe, but he was there. I believe he was on the scene in the movie, I think on one of the boats or something in Staten Island. I probably am misremembering my Spider-Man, but anyways, he was there. Will he show up in No Way Home? I don't know. He might show up in future, you know, Spider-Man stuff, but the Scorpion would be a really good character, I think, to come to the game as part of the Sinister Six team. There's a lot of Sinister Six members, and honestly, when they brought out Swarm, I was like, who the heck is Swarm? Because he was only in, I think, one variation or one iteration of the Sinister Six. So I found this really surprising myself personally. But Scorpion is a beloved member. A lot of people know the Scorpion. A lot of people know Sandman, I would say. And Lizard is very well known as well throughout the cartoons and the other Spider-Man media. So I think these three characters could come to the game. Now, we could have, like I said, Sandman as sort of that war defense character, Scorpion as a war offense character, and then the Lizard as a more general character who just might be in the team there. That being said, Lizard could also just be a Spider-Verse character and not in the in the Sinister Six, and maybe they'll do something else with them. There's plenty of other characters that could also be coming to the game. I think these are probably the most likely ones, but there are other, obviously, members of the Sinister Six, lots of them. Other characters that I can think of is like Kraven the Hunter. I think a lot of people were hoping that he might appear in the movie. I don't think he is, but Kraven would be a really awesome character. Obviously, probably a Brawler character. So that would fit some of what we're kind of missing on that team here. And just to go back to the team here, just to remind people what we're talking about here, the Sinister Six. So in terms of Brawlers, the only Brawlers that is Shocker a Brawler? No, he's a Blaster. I forgot. I don't know why. Vulture is really the only Brawler character that we actually have on the team. Mysterio's a Controller, Swarm's a Controller, Rhino's a Protector, Green Goblin is a Blaster. I forgot because I almost never use him. But I like Green Goblin's passive. So if they're only going to bring 2 characters and not 3, I would totally be fine with that if they did a rework for Green Goblin. You know, I would love to see his passive improve. His overall stats probably need a bump, but his passive is actually pretty neat. The what is it? Blah, blah, blah. This one. On any Spider-Verse ally's turn, choose 2 random enemies. If they have a positive effect, remove 1. That could actually be really crippling if they're fast enough, and that just strips all these buffs. So that could be really good. And then throw in, that means he'd be thrown back into the original team. Maybe get a rework for some charges. Give me a glider, and then we could have just Sandman on the defense, and then maybe Scorpion on the offense, or someone else in the offense, and do it that way. I would be fine with that as well. Poor Shocker and Vulture. I'm not sure they're going to see the light of day. Rhino and Mysterio might also get kicked to the curb with new characters as well. I actually really liked Mysterio's rework that he got with the whatever you want to call them, the clones, and that way that he could actually revive himself if you didn't, or if you got really, really lucky and they didn't target the clones, he could bring himself back to life with Masters of Illusion. This was really, really cool, and actually really clutch in some cases when you're using them in war. I think this kind of makes me want to try them out again on the war offense. I might do some videos on that. Like I said, if you go back through my channel, you'll see me where I have actually killed the Black Order with this Sinister Six team. It is possible. I heard it's actually easier with Green Goblin, but I did it with Rhino. Most of the heavy lifting is obviously from Doc Ock, but also from Electro too, really helping. Really, really clutch sometimes. So I might go back and do that. Maybe I'll take Electro to tier 14 and Swarm to tier 14. I think it's very likely that they're going to probably stay on the team. Not so sure about everyone else, though. Let me know what you think. What do you think about Sinister Six? They're coming on Monday. Obviously, Doc Ock is coming on Monday. I hope that you all unlock him if you haven't already, or get him as close as you can to 7-star as well. I think there might be something there. Does this mean that we might see some more Sinister Six characters coming? Possibly. Why they wouldn't wait, though, closer to the patch, and why they moved them up 2 weeks, I don't know. I'm kind of suspicious a little bit, but you'd think they would make more money if they announced Sinister Six characters or Spider-Verse characters coming. That way people might be more inclined to want to chase Doc Ock for that event and for those characters coming, but who knows. This is Scopely. They often don't make a lot of sense, but let me know in the comments down below what you think might happen. Do you think we'll get some Spider-Verse or Sinister Six characters? I would love to finally complete this team as far as chargeables go, or get some reworks into Green Goblin. That would be awesome. I have some good red stars across the board. 5, 5, 5, 5. 6 on Doc Ock, 5 on Green Goblin, and we can dump the rest. But that's it in this video. Let me know what you think, and until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see y'all later, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Boilon signing out.